Hi class, if you are watching this video, that means that you are in class today and I am not. I'll actually be back at school a little bit later today. But this is so that you understand what you should be doing today. I'm hoping that it's pretty obvious. We've been working on the same thing for the last couple of days. But just in case you're not entirely sure what you should be doing, I have in your Google Classroom some slides for you. The first slide that I posted for you is now called Quarter 4 Working Week. So what do you really see on that? What it really just shows you is on the left side, you've got all your links for the different coding programs. You've got CodeMonkey, you've got the Trinket, you've got the Scratch login, and you've got Ozaria. On the right side, you have your step-by-step where you should be with your bridge building plan. I'm going to start with that first. So for bridge building, some of you might actually be done with your slide. So let's start there. In order to figure out if you're done with your slide, you need to be comparing it against the rubric. Where do you find that rubric? The rubric's actually posted in the Seesaw with the assignment itself. So when you're looking at that, you can go ahead and check it out there. But what it shows you right there, right? Check the rubric on Seesaw, that when you're done, you turn it into your Google Classroom, right? Sorry about that. So what I have for you then is to go ahead and let's look. In your classwork, you are going to see it says, turn in your bridge slide here. And when you go to turn in your bridge slide, you'll actually see I even posted another copy of the bridge rubric there, just in case you didn't check. So just to check that you really feel like your bridge slide is right, there's one last place for you to check. So let's say that, yep, you're ready to go. Bridge is done. You've turned it in. And now you move to the bridge challenge and identifying problem forms. So these forms, here's the first one, the bridge challenge. And identify the problem. So those forms you'll get from Miss McClintock. She has them. The other form you will also get from her is this. These are all going to go, this is the check-in sheet, the daily check-in sheet. These are all going to go into your engineering notebooks, the ones that we had from last year. If I still have it from you and we don't get a chance to get it back to you today, that's okay. You can keep these papers in a bin in my classroom in the cabinets until we get you back your innovations book. I don't want you shoving these papers into your backpack and then they get all crumpled and rumpled and they go back and forth. So these papers are pretty self-explanatory. The first one here, this is Bridge Challenge. It talks about your constraints, what the bridge can be made of. We know we said spaghetti and glue. That was it. The span for how wide across the bridge has to be is 1 ruler length. 1 ruler is 30 centimeters. And as far as how wide it can be, your bridge should be only, your bridge should only be, it should be actually at minimum 8 centimeters. So it needs to be 8 centimeters wide by 30 centimeters long. And it needs to be able to hold at least $1 in pennies. That's what we're going to go for at least to start. Okay, so those are some pretty important bits of information. The rest is really up to you now to be able to answer what's on this form as well. So you'll have these 2 forms to work out. You'll see you have to get these approved. And instead of now having to check in on Google Classroom, on Seesaw to do your daily check-in, you now have this printed out for you, my bridge people. You're not going to be going onto your Seesaw to be checking in. You'll be checking in here if you're somebody who is, by the way, still working on the slide. This is only for slide check-in. Otherwise, you do not have a check-in right now. So now let's move to our coding people. You are already online because you're a coding person. So coding people, you have those 4 different options of what type of platform you're using. Remember that if you're in the classroom, you use that marker in the back of the room. Miss McClintock will show you if you are stuck and you need a specific code for CodeMonkey that you need her to help you with. For Ozaria, she can also help you on the different levels. On Scratch, Miss McClintock can also help you, and same with on Trinket. So let's talk about each one of those a little bit more independently. Code Monkey is very straightforward. You just sign right in with your school Gmail account and you should be able to get right in. You move through each level. Please don't stay on a level for more than like 2 or 3 minutes if you're stuck before you ask for help. However, they give you information at each level. So make sure that you're writing down that information at the level, whether you copy and paste it into a Google Doc to keep it sort of as notes, or you handwrite it on even scratch paper so that you have something to go back to instead of trying to remember all the code from step to step to step, because it will become too much. Ozaria, same thing. So really, Ozaria and Code Monkey are definitely going to be in that same realm of remembering how you're coding. Now, with the Scratch coding login, remember that everybody was given a Google CS login and password. And just as a quick reminder, when you get to that location, you'll click Start. But if in fact they don't start, they start you back where you already were, like if they throw you back to number 1, remember you just click on where it says here, Lessons and Badges. And you just make sure that you start where you were. Maybe you were at number 2, or maybe you were at number 3. But remember, you might go to number 3 and then you don't have the link to get yourself back to the Scratch part of the story. So like I might have to back up to number 2 so that I can get my link to take me to my starter project for my Scratch, right? Because remember, this is going to be where I'm going to get back into my Scratch project. So this is my whole sample project for my Scratch. And then as always, remember, make sure that this is you here, and always make sure right when you land to do a quick file save now. And remember to constantly be saving while you're working so that any work that you do is still there when you come back for it. Okay, so that is our Scratch people. Going back here, don't forget with our people who are doing Trinket. Now, if you're doing Trinket, all of your information is on the HTML slide that I put in your Google Classroom for you. And every time you do a challenge, they're here, right? It opens up a doc and it tells you what you're supposed to do for each of these. Dun, 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 right? Okay, and you open up and you slide down. All the information is here, what you need to do, how you go through it, and you have to actually read. It's a lot of information. It really is. So if you don't feel like you are somebody who can follow through each of these steps, step by steps, pick up all the little details in this, then this might not be the challenge for you, because this is definitely a lot more work than the other ones. When you're done, there is a daily response in Seesaw. So let's head over to Seesaw to see what it looks like. The responses in Seesaw for actual HTML look a little bit different. So I want everybody to remember that your HTML responses when you're finished with an HTML unit look different. So first one, this was your first one. It asks you to respond to very specific things. And here's the second one now. You made a recipe and it's asking very specific things of what you're supposed to be doing. But every day, coders, you still have your daily coding check sheet. Okay, so that daily coding check sheet is still something that you are responsible to fill in. And it really is just saying like, I did this today. I finished it or I didn't finish it. And if you got stuck, and tomorrow what your plan is. And then are you happy or not happy with what you did today? That's it. So we should either be, depending on what you started, you're either at day 4 or day 5 today. And that is it. Boy, I have covered a lot of information. So I do want to remind you, if you are stuck, all right, be patient. You only have one teacher today, and Miss McClintock is going to be running the GoGuardian for the people at home, as well as running the in-class for you. So be mindful that you have one person who's being pulled in multiple directions if you do need help. Please come back to this video if you are stuck. Okay? If you think you might have heard what you're supposed to do and you just don't remember, I don't remember is not an acceptable answer when you have the video to come back to and watch again. All right, so you can watch this video a second time, just put in your headphones and plug in to your Chromebook, and you can watch this again if you feel like you want to watch it through one more time after Miss McClintock has showed it to the class. And I will be back this afternoon. Actually, I'll be back before lunch, but right around there. So I will certainly see you all in a little bit. Have a wonderful morning.